Our drinks are empty. Our tip has been left.
Let's do this.
Bloody Marys in the airport. What could be better? Today I'm going to reminisce about a redfish trip I took with Jimmy down to Texas.
I feel good. I want some butterflies in my stomach.
Davis James here, media guy at Anglers All, out here in Port O'Connor, Texas. I dragged Jimmy down here this time to go fishing, get him on his first redfish, and test out some 8-weight rods. We had the Scott Sector and the Winston Alpha come in recently, right on the heels of the Salt HD and a few other awesome rods, the Air Salt from Winston as well. So we thought we'd kind of lay all these rods out, try a couple different lines, and see what was going to perform best in the scenarios we were going to be fishing in. The last 2 days we fished with my buddy Jeremy Chavez on a technical polling skiff out in the shallowest of shallow water we could find. We've been fishing a high tide, and so it was tough to find the shallow water, but when we did, we found redfish sitting there.
Tough so far. High. Plenty high. We got too much water back here.
These are areas that are normally don't have any water at all. And what's tough about it is a lot of times you won't see those fish until they're almost 9-10 feet away.
11 o'clock to this point. Yeah, all right, down that shoreline past the point, and that little pocket back behind it.
Oh, I see him. I see him.
You got him? Yeah. Go longer, a little bit longer. Just a hair. Strip bass. Oh, he ate it. Strip.
He ate that, didn't he?
Picked it up, yeah. Damn it, that was pretty sweet. There was 3 of them in there. There's 2 of them that were swimming together. There's another one that was in there by himself, though. Just keep watching.
What we decided was going to be the best for us was that 8-foot 4-inch Scott rod. The new Scott Sector was a really good tool for those short water areas. You know, where we didn't have a lot of room to make casts, and often when we were seeing fish, they were right on our toes, meaning we kind of had to bring the elbow back and plop the cast down as short as we could.
Accomplished my mission.
We've both hooked up to several fish throughout the 2 days, had a blast, and just really enjoyed fishing that Scott.
Can't get much better than this right now. Sun's out, guns are out, and we're fishing.
Tomorrow we're going to shoot out to the jetties and target fish like Jack Crevalle, maybe find some larger bull reds out on those big rocks in those deeper water areas. So, but we're going to figure out which ones are best for big flies and big fish in big water.
Just had a bunch of tarpon roll through here. First thing I casted to was probably a pod of 10 of them. Didn't get anything to eat. About a half hour later, another pod came through, casted to them, went tight, lost them. About a half hour later after that, another pod came through, I casted to them, it went tight, that fish jumped, and then it was gone. A little unfortunate, but I see another pod of them working this way right now.
What was that? What do you got?
I got a tarpon! Woo!
All right, get down real low. Oh, careful, don't get him in the rock. Find a somewhat flat spot to put your feet.
Ready?
Yeah.
ready. Buddy! Hell yeah! I go home happy. Shit yeah! Redfish and a tarpon? That was badass. Kept moving down, so I kept chasing them. Casting at them, and they finally stopped and kind of circled around. Threw it out there, stripped it, didn't think anything of it. And I saw that bastard creep out from the depths. Boom! Set that hook. Woo! That was awesome. Saving that fly. 5th day on a 5-day grind. Was probably the best day. Spanish mackerel, ladyfish, and a tarpon. First tarpon on my first saltwater trip. This is a memorable one for sure. I am turned 40 tomorrow, and I got a tarpon before I was 40. I don't know if that was a goal or not, but it happened.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you, brother.
So a week into the trip, here we are. We've casted all the 8 weights, we've fished them all, and we really enjoyed each one for different situations. The rod that stuck out for red fishing was that shorter 8'4" Scott Sector. It really did well at short shots in tight areas. But we, as you probably hear right now, we've had a fair amount of wind to deal with. And the 2 rods that really stuck out for that were gonna be the Salt HD and the Winston Air Salt. Those rods have the power to punch through the wind as long as you can feel that rod load. Part of that equation is getting the right fly line dialed in for it. For a lot of people who don't saltwater fish that often, it's gonna be stuff like the SA Grand Slam and the Outbound Short from Rio, or even the Flats Pro. We found that some of those longer belly lines, it really takes a lot more line out of the tip of the rod to truly load it. So those were great. The long belly line, the new Infinity Salt Taper from SA was great for the long shot casts when we were blind casting and covering flats like this, where we're looking for bait working, we're looking for shrimp popping, we're looking for, you know, predators chasing prey. And we could make those longer casts and avoid those tailing loops, which was really nice. Overall, all the rods really perform well. And it comes down to what your cast is like and the fly line you put on it. Those 2 things are going to be the biggest factors. So when you head into the shop, be sure you ask a lot of questions, try all the rods out. Just because you've been a Sage guy or gal, or you've been a Winston gal, doesn't mean you need to stick with one brand of rod. There's, you know, Scott, Sage, Winston, all have great stuff, and we often find there's anglers that want to stick with one brand. They've had the Scott G series leading all the way up to the Radian and the Meridian, but it's best to kind of go with what is really feeling best and choose a rod based on performance, feel, and the situation you're headed for. So stay tuned for more stuff coming at us here on the YouTube channel. Be sure you subscribe down below, like, turn on the notifications. We want to hear your commentary. We want to know what you want to see and what you want to know. If you have any other questions, be sure to call us up at the shop, stop in, shoot us an email, DM us on Instagram, leave a comment on YouTube, and we'll give you an answer as quick as we can. We'll see you next time. Peace out, Port O'Connor.